Hey, you guys. Hey, it is Margaret. What? Obviously, who else would it be? It's me. Welcome to my channel, Texas Gal Treasures. I wanted to come on actually live. I was debating about doing this, and I didn't write notes, which was probably a bad idea on my part. But something has been dogging me lately, like nagging at me, and I wanted to come and just talk a little bit about it because if it's true for me, then I'm sure it's true for some of y'all too. And I know based on some of the comments that I get about how discouraged some of you are as far as reselling goes. And I know that a lot of the people that watch me, not all, but a lot, are say retired. Some of my retired friends, single parents, people trying to supplement their income or maybe in a bad situation trying to, earn money to get out of that. And it can become really discouraging, especially being a YouTuber, like when you watch other YouTubers, or other resellers that seem to have it all going on and seem to have everything working out peachy keen, and are making money hand over fist, right? But the reality is that it's not always like that. And I just want to encourage you not to give up on yourself, on your goal, on what you're trying to accomplish. Hi in the chat. Hi, Christine and Jackie. If you're here live, say hi. And I know for myself, like I've been doing this for about 10 years now, probably reselling for 11, but YouTube for 9 or 10 years. And it has been a journey. And I feel very strongly for some of you that are like just starting out. And I get the question like, well, how long does it take to really take off? How long does it take to start making money? And, just depending on what you're selling, it might take a little time. So being flexible with what you're picking up and being patient with yourself. Because I know for me, if you're new and you don't know my story, I started reselling when I used to be a public school teacher. And when I quit teaching to stay home with my kids, my eldest was going into kindergarten. So I had a 5-year-old and a 2.5, 3-year-old at the time. And when that happened, I was suddenly without an income and was having to ask my then husband for money. And it turned into a very big power struggle and just snowballed into other stuff. Anyway, long story short, I figured out pretty quickly that this was not going to be sustainable for me. And I needed to make my own income and eventually got to the point where I needed to get out of this marriage. So it took, and I tell you my story because you may have a similar story or your story may include, I thought my retirement was going to cover more, or I thought, you know, the cost of living, things are not adjusting to where cost of living is going, or, there's so many different aspects of what, everybody has their story about why they do what they do. But for me, but then at the beginning, at first, my goal wasn't independence. At the very beginning, my goal was I want to make 200 extra dollars to be able to not have to ask my then husband for money to go get a cup of coffee because it would just turn into a thing, you know, anytime that I had to barter for money, right? And that was just not the way I was. Uh, oh, Christine, I'm going to come back to that in a second if you don't mind. Um, if you don't mind me talking about it. Uh, but when I realized, let's see how long into my being not working, it was about 4 years when I first realized, like, I maybe before that, but where I was like, I need to start making more. So for the first couple of years anyway, I was just doing it sort of as a hobby. But I feel like anything you put your mind to, you can definitely do it. And I know that there's always going to be struggles, whether you're, maybe can't get out of the house as easily. You live in an area maybe that's rural and you don't have as many opportunities for thrifting, garage sailing. But I want to encourage you to find a way because there's always a way. always a way. And for myself, once I got to the point of like, I have to leave this marriage. I have to figure out how I can become financially independent to be able to support myself and my kids. Well, there was no stopping me. It was like I was like a barreling train down the tracks. Like, this is gonna happen. I have to make this happen. And of course, there's hiccups, but my eye just stayed like laser focused. Um, but over the years, there have always been other ups and downs. What we got COVID. Like, I, there's no debate. Okay, this is before all the vaccines came out in 2020. The kids and I got COVID. I actually made videos. They kept popping up lately. I don't know why, but I made videos of the whole process of how it affected me, and it was nuts, right? Nothing like I'd ever experienced before. But that whole big chunk of time, and then there've been other things like moving from the Houston area to Austin, and then us moving from here to from Austin to Colorado, and now like things are not. I thought, okay, now we're in our home, we were renting and then we moved again, we bought the house and blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, now I can hit the ground running. Now I can hit the ground running, right? And there always seems to be roadblocks. And then you'll get your momentum and you'll start up again. I tell you this because I don't want you to get discouraged if you hit a roadblock or if life happens and something, there's always, just seems like something is always happening. So not to get discouraged and just to, give yourself grace, give yourself a moment to like take care of what needs to be taken care of, and then, move back into that. So for me right now, like I've been really trying to re-inventory everything. And then the area in the basement where I was going to have my inventory, and I had all my inventory, everything set up, and I was starting to get into the groove of like, okay, make sure I've got everything so that I don't like fall into this problem I was having before. I couldn't find my inventory when I sold, but some weirdness in the basement, I kept getting fiberglass in my eyes. It happened multiple times and I couldn't figure out why it was happening. So we decided to get the sheetrock and all this, to finish off that part of the basement. When I say we, it's me and the kids. Right. So yeah, that just sort of put a big stop on everything again, right? Um yeah, so I just I felt like, especially some of the comments that I get, like nothing ever sells, so what's the point? And some of the comments of just discouragement. And I just want to encourage you that, it can be done, and to continually like look for other avenues, especially where your strengths are. And I encourage everybody. I know not everybody wants to do YouTube videos, but truly, like that has been another aspect for me that has helped. Print on demand. I preach all like getting your finger into as many pies as possible, like, because for me, even from the very, very get-go, like, I don't care if it's $5 profit. I was selling things locally. I would, like, when the kids we were downsizing stuff in the house, I would go local, like local sales for a $5 toy. I mean, for me, it was like anything I could sock away that's a loaf of bread, and that's some eggs, and that's so anytime I hear other, resellers, whether in the comment section or other YouTube resellers, like saying things like, I'm not going to waste my time for a $5 whatever sale, I'm thinking that $5 could get me, well, nowadays, depending on where you're shopping, some eggs and bread and, maybe milk, but to me, I'm thinking that $5 can go straight into, my pantry or my gas tank. Or so I never turn my nose up at anything. One of my kids was joking with me the other day about keeping the change, like something about keeping the change, and it was only a quarter, and I joked back like, but you know what I can do with a quarter, right? So I said, give me a week and I'll turn that quarter into $100. Watch me. So I forgot where I was going. This is why I need notes, right? I want to encourage you, find other avenues, whether it's local sales, because there's a lot of money in picking up freebies for local sales. I actually started I started writing like I may just switch it into like mini pamphlet-y things where I was really doing really well picking up freebies and flipping them locally and making a lot of money doing that. So there's a lot of money to be made locally. Don't give up. I want to encourage you because I know, like personally, if I had to do it, I could go back into the classroom and start teaching again. It's not what I want to do because I homeschool my kids. And so that's just a really big priority for me is continuing homeschooling my kids. And yeah, so if you really like if you're in a bad situation with your job and you're trying to make enough money to get out of that situation, whatever your story or your reality is, like, don't give up because life is too short to be. I can't imagine having a boss anymore now that I'm like, I think I would get fired. I would mouth off or something. I'd be too much about like, why? This is dumb. This doesn't make sense. Like, can I do it this way instead? Like, it seems more logical. No. Okay, I'm gonna talk in the chat real quick because I know Christine said something. Christine, thanks for being here. And hi, Jackie. Jackie says, hi, I've been watching you for a long time. I learned a lot. I live in League City area. Oh, yay. Yeah, I was right there. I lived in Friendswood. Were you there when the Harvey came through? Because whoosh, League City got hit hard, with all the flooding from Hurricane Harvey. So did Friendswood. But Christine says, I'm in the middle of a divorce and already feeling the single mom pain. Oh, dude, I tell you what, I feel that so much. And y'all know, I mean, I got divorced, single mom in it. And then my camera that I've got acts weird so it'll take a minute to refocus. But, all during COVID, it's like, I didn't even bother trying to date. Right. And then, y'all been around for a little bit, I was with one, got engaged, that kind of fell apart. Anyway, we'll go into that. And then the whole idea of like trying to date again is just like, my sister, my cousin, like keep trying to encourage me to do it. And it's just too much. I'm like, it needs to happen naturally. I think I'm just sort of a meet in person, natural kind of person. I don't know. Anyway, but it is lonely, right? Especially, well, as a single mom, if you're where your family is or you're where you know people, it might not be like we went from people and now we're in Colorado and we're making friends. We're getting there. But like there's some days where I'm like, kids, we're getting out of the house today. I don't know where we're going, what we're doing, but I need to see the face of an adult. I need to hear an adult voice. I need to excuse me. We went to the doctor the other day. My son had to go to the doctor. Nothing major. But I have a really good rapport with the doctor. And I was like, don't leave. I have a grown up sitting in front of me. I need grown up talk. Hello, Lauren. Yeah. Hi, Jack. How's it going? Oh, thank you so much. I got kids hanging trouble. I wish. Well, here's the funny part is like I I knew nothing about drywall and things like that, right? So the framers came and they did all the stuff they have to do, right? And then they put the drywall up. And then my sister was saying, well, did they float it? And I was like, I don't know. Are they like wizards? Or are they like floating the drywall up? And then like somebody's coming along, like buzzing it in. I'm like, how do they float it? She was like, Margaret, no, that just means like they're taping it and they're cutting it. I was like, why do they call it floated? It makes it sound like they're wizards or something, Okay. I swear I'm not ignorant, but I'm just like, I didn't know exactly what it meant to float drywall. Lucy, and exactly, jobs suck. And that's one of the things I tell my kids. Pardon me. I'm sorry if it wobbles a little bit. You're sitting on my knees. I'm sitting in this chair and you're on my little lap thing on my knees. But I tell my kids, I want y'all to be your own bosses. I really do. But they're going to be their own selves, and they, if they want to go out and find jobs and see for themselves, then that's what they're going to have to do. So, Redbird, thank you. Really needed that tonight. I feel ya. So, especially if there's a struggle going on, there's going to be good. There's going to be good and there's going to be bad as far as reselling. and the whole journey of everything. But you can do it. You can do it. You live in Colorado. Oh, okay. Do you know where Castle Rock is? Like Parker, Castle Rock, that whole south of Denver area ish. Yeah. Um, yeah. Don't worry about dating. If it's supposed to happen, it will. That's how I feel. I mean, because honestly, this is an aside. I've gone on a couple dates and y'all, it is bleak. It's horrible. I'll tell you about it. Okay. So the first date I went on, I quit. I didn't see him again because I think I've gone out on 3 dates since I've been here since June. First date I went on, the guy sat across the table from me and just was looking at me like this. Yeah, yeah. And I'm like, what the hell is he? Is there a conversation going on in your head? Because it's creeping me out. So that was one. What was the other one? Uh, I don't know. There was one that was just like, there's no spark. Anyway. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I can't do this. I cannot do this. It was not good. I know. That's what I was like, I know what you're thinking, and this is not great. Christine, yeah. Yeah. Most kids, yeah, I agree. I'm all for them working fast food or just to see like, okay, I don't want to do this. I need to find another something, right? Um Sorry, I'm reading the chat. Okay, basically I came because I wanted to just put out a little encouragement because I know I personally am going through it right now, feeling like things aren't, clicking the way, you get a well-oiled machine and you're just like thrifting and you're, selling and shipping and photographing and everything. And basically that's not, I thought by now I would be back into the groove of things, but now I'm like, okay, I'm going to grab a bag of buttons at least. So when I go to an event that the kids are at, I have nobody, I would ask if I saw somebody haul out a bag of buttons and they're like clicking away on the computer, I'd be like, what? Okay, what's the story here with all the buttons? But I'm sitting there like double checking that I have the button, that I have the listing before I make it live, like one after the other after the other. And it's tedious, but I'm like, okay, I have to get something. I have to get something going to feel like I'm at least moving forward in some way. Right. Uh, I can't even with the chat. I can't talk about it. I have a booth in Loveland. It's steady but not huge. I sell more on my personal Facebook lately. Yeah, it's still fun, right? Cowgirl, Jewel. I haven't seen a whole lot of antique type booth stuff here. There's a place not far from me where it's like they have booths, but it's all like new stuff and tchotchkes and like somebody selling knives and somebody selling candles and somebody selling, it's just like not antique booth stuff. Certainly there has to be somewhere, but I haven't really even looked at it. Oh, thanks, Doug. Adjusting to color. Honestly, I was really nervous about Colorado, the weather more than anything. But it was like 32 degrees today, and I thought I was gonna have to get a whole new wardrobe, but I still haven't because I don't wear pants a lot. I'm not like Winnie the Pooh. I wear skirts, but I still I thought, oh, I'm gonna have to wear like long sleeves and sweaters and things like that, and I don't like feeling constricted with like lots of clothes. That sounds weird, but like if I can be barefoot, I'll be barefoot. So yeah, I mean, it was like 30 something today, and I just grabbed my little sweater and like went out, my skirt and this, and I'm like, I'm fine. And it's not really bothering me that much. The kids a little more than me. But maybe because it's drier here, I don't know. The shoveling of the driveway and the sidewalks, I'm learning I'm becoming that neighbor that I'm like, oh, we were leaving. I was like, oh, we need to shovel our sidewalks. Everybody else's sidewalks are already shoveled and like right in front of our house, our sidewalks. I'm learning. I'm learning. We'll get there. I have a niche in cowboy stuff. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, no, I almost read that out loud, Christine, and I don't want to do that. I don't know if the chat's going to be live later, but if you get the chance, if the chat is still there, go ahead. Go ahead and take a peek over there. Okay, y'all, I feel like I needed this. I hope that this helped you as well. Like, it makes me feel like, boop, we touched, reach out and touch someone. And yeah, so yeah, I'm glad that I was able to come on and say hey to you guys and hopefully give some encouragement. And I'll talk to you very, very soon. I have a video ready for tomorrow, so I'm trying to stay on top of that as well. So see you guys later. Have a good one. Bye, y'all.